Hello. Today you find me in my natural habitat, refereeing, and I'm in between games and I've got 2 games in a row that, so basically, I'm here, I've got an hour to kill, I can't bother going back home and coming back again, so why not record the next part of my Asian special, like a series I guess you call it. So today, what would I change about GAP 360? I don't know. First thing that I will say, because I know people won't watch all the way to the end of these videos, is GAP 360 are amazing. Go and watch the previous videos to see all the pros of GAP 360. But these are what I would change. Almost the cons. You could call them cons, but they're not really cons. So, there's about 5 I think. First one is breakfast. So, on the trip itinerary, and when you're planning your trip, it says what's included are 23 breakfasts, 8 lunches and 9 dinners or something like that. Teas, as I like to call them, because dinners could be either, but that's a different argument. So, you say the 23 breakfasts. Let's just first say the lunches and teas are lovely. They are, you go to different restaurants or you're in getting homemade stuff. It's mainly rice, don't get me wrong. You have your staples, you had rice, a bit of chicken, some veg, some whatever else, but there's a lot of rice. But that's fine, it's what you should expect, and it is great. Honestly, the quality of food is amazing there. And I mean, everything that GAP 360 provides you is amazing, and they'll tell you if it's not to do it. So, the cons, the breakfast is what I would say. First of all, I had about 2 of them 23 breakfasts. The thing is, you're up early most mornings, and if you're like me, you want to stay in bed, and you want to stay in bed for longer, not necessarily go out to breakfast and get up even earlier every morning, especially if you had a big night the night before, which we had most nights. So, if I was GAP 360, I would maybe not, I'm trying to think of a word for not include, I think it's just not include. I wouldn't not include all breakfasts, but I would include less, definitely less. Like I said, I had about 2. And I'm not the only one who had about 2. Some people had more, don't get some people up every day for breakfast. The other thing is, these breakfasts were not amazing. Definitely not. There's a lot of rice again. If you like rice, you're there, but I'm not a big fan of rice for breakfast, I can't lie. There was rarely toast. There's a couple, there's one place where we had pancakes, I got up for them, but there's somewhere it's basically glue, and I'm not the biggest fan, I can't lie. So, yeah, I was not a big fan of that, having that. So, what I would do if I've got 360, you could reduce the price, maybe it's only probably by less than £50, something like that. But reduce the price and not include breakfast, for me personally. Maybe you might think, oh, I might be up every day. I thought I'd be up most days, if not every day for breakfast, but I really wasn't. So, that's the first one. Number 2 is, maybe, I never actually heard anyone say this from the group, but I personally would have liked someone from GAP 360 with us all the time. Maybe, we had a guide all the time, we did have a guide all the time, but the guide changed. I would like someone from GAP 360 to be with us all the time, just so they were there, and just so we had one person who knew us basically, because the guys did pass on information about us to each other, but yeah, some of them didn't know us great, which is obviously I didn't expect them to, but if there was one person with us who could maybe be a bit of a middleman between us and the guides, I'd have liked that. I know we'd have to pay for that person from GAP 360, which would have increased the price, but that's fine. So that's just something personal for me. Another one that I would do is, this could maybe be included in the last one, the guides never spoke great English, some of them, and it did lead to a bit of confusion. So what I'll say is, Laos, for example, with sunshine, great man, don't get me wrong. I never went on a cruise one day, I think it cost $30, whatever it was. I never went on it one day because I was informed by, or what I thought I was informed by Sunshine, was that I could go and do Big Brother Mouse, which was like teaching people English. I could go and do that all day. That's what I thought that Sunshine said to me, and I think it was lost in translation somewhere. But if they had a middleman there from Get 360, if the guy spoke better English, it would be fine, obviously. I mean, I'm in Laos, I should be able to speak Laosi, you know, there's that with the locals and whatever, I know that. So I'm not moaning at Sunshine at all, and if anything that's on me, but that's what I wanted to say. Another thing about the having someone from Gap 360 there as well as the guys is a couple of times they had to go hospital deals with and other things where the guide had to be kind of in two places at once if they could. So kind of, if you have someone with Gap 360 there, we'd have another responsible adult, if you want, with us. I know we're all adults, everyone on the trip's adults, so should all be responsible, definitely not. But yeah. So, next thing I would say is, this one's, obviously, it's so hard to do. Time in each country. I think it's a pro if anything more than a con, but we would want to spend longer in each country if we could, but obviously we'd have to then either sacrifice something else which we want to do, or just rearrange everything, or spend longer on the trip. But, you know, you could spend longer, but you've obviously got to cater for everyone, haven't you? So, that's one thing. That's not really a con, is it? Well, it is a con because it's like a con because I want to spend longer in each place because it was so good. Next thing is, I think this might be the last one, and I did just have it, it's gone out of my head. Spending longer in each place is, what have I had here? I did have it. Almost too much to do. Again, could be a con, but I said it in the pros that there's things to do every day, and it absolutely is. But yeah, it's just different, so much to do. What I will say is, prepare to spend more on optional activities than you think. No one did on our trip, read the guide and itinerary extensively, but there didn't seem to be, when I looked at the optional activities, so it was a list of optional activities, and if you weighed it up, I think I did spend more than what was on there on optional activities. And look, we did, what one of the guys said about us was, we love an optional activity, and we did. Pretty much every optional activity went ahead, because pretty much everyone did every single optional activity. But there were a couple which we didn't. If you didn't watch the pros video, there's a couple people who never did the optional activities, including me, some of them, and it was absolutely fine. You don't have to do them all, but be prepared to spend more on optional activities than you think. It's only a con because I feel like it could have been put in the itinerary that maybe there are more optional activities. Because if you are preparing, if you are budgeting, preparing a budget to spend, definitely need more. When I did put it into ChatGPT about how much I might need if I'm doing a 40-day planned trip and all this and this, and it's saying that everything that's included in it, and it said that I would need between £1,000 and £1,200. I spent over £1,500, so just be prepared that there are more optional activities. Obviously, it doesn't cost £1,500 on optional activities, that's including all the food and things that we didn't get included as well. Obviously, drinks and a night out. So, the next thing I had was the final thing, I believe, is there was at least one thing which was not included anywhere on the itinerary. We went up Banner Hills in Vietnam, where you saw the bridge, hand bridge, and it's a bridge which is held by two hands. And the one thing about that, there's nowhere on the optional activities, it costs an extra 40 quid or whatever it was. And the guide, I don't know if the guide wanted to go or not now, but he did play it down the night before, because it wasn't an optional activity. He said, he said, oh, there's not so much of it, do you really want to go? It's £40 where you get to see the handbricks. It's far from that. If you've got power, he said it's just the handbricks, and it costs £40 to go. I don't really know why we all went, but I'm glad we did, because the roller coasters there, it's brilliant. Up there, it's actually cool as well, it's very cool up there, but compared to the hottest day we had was the day before in Hoi An and Banner Hills. It was great, going to the cable car and everything. So definitely do that for £40 or whatever it was, it was great. But yeah, it was nowhere on the itinerary. I don't know if we saw it in Vietnam in an airport that you could do it, and I think we did say to the guy, said, oh, are we doing this? And I think he did say yes at the time, so it wasn't like a spontaneous thing that he just decided to do the day before, and it wasn't. He did say, and I think there were a couple that did this, it was, the itinerary was changed about, which is fine. I didn't look too much into the itinerary before anyway, but things were changed, and like if you're doing stuff on day 28, you might have done it on day 27 instead. It's fine, you just mixed and matched because it was just logical and whatever. Just depends on the day and maybe day of the week. You know, maybe you don't want to go somewhere on a weekend and all this. So that's why I think they changed, but that's fine, that's not even a con. Maybe it is for you, but it's not for me. If you are maybe autistic and want to plan ahead and make sure you've got everything planned, absolutely you can't do that. Be prepared for plans to change. Just be prepared for that. But apart from that, Gap 360 is amazing. It's well worth the price, no matter what you pay, no matter where you, I mean, say no matter what you pay, no matter where you go. I couldn't speak for Southeast Asia, but it's very much worth the price and worth everything. Absolutely do it. They're just my thing. If Gap 360 are watching this, I will fill in that feedback form. I know I got asked to do it and I still haven't done it. I will do it and put all this that I've said in the videos in there. But honestly, Gap 360 hardly need to change anything. We don't need to change anything. These are just things that I personally would want. And there are definitely people on my group that are happy for 23 breakfast being included because they add it all the time. That's the biggest one. Everything else is fine. So, if you have enjoyed it, do like, do subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.